I started off this with doing an impression of David Lynch, but it was bad. I used to do impressions before, but yeah, I just lost it with Lynch. So, anyways, this is the ranking of the David Lynch future films, full-length films. So I scribbled down a little info about him. David Lynch, born as David Keith Lynch on January 20, 1946 in Missoula, Montana, USA. Known as probably the weirdest, strangest directors of all time. And that's just his thing. That's what he's known for. And one of the most intelligent directors of all time. So you can solve some of his movies to infinity, and one of the most absurd, surrealistic directors of all time, and probably, if not my favorite director of all time. A little quick story before I start the ranking of his films. So, I always loved films, television series, everything like that, short films and stuff. So I know the styles of other directors before, but David Lynch, I noticed a director can have their own style. Camera camera angles, and color correction. I noticed that in David Lynch, another solo also, before I even knew what that is. So, anyways, one of my favorite director, if not Jonas Åkerlund. Okay, let's get started. So, 10 Dune, 1984. Based on the legendary sci-fi novel with the same name by Frank Herbert, screenplay wrote by David Lynch. Known as probably the greatest sci-fi novel of all time, but this is the only Turkey movie Lynch ever made. It's got an enormous budget, as he isn't used to have. And the problem with this is it has an enormous budget, but it looks really, really cheap. Why, I have no fucking idea how this is, but this movie it's too much Lynch where it shouldn't be that Lynchian. Okay, so this is the first movie with his collaboration with Kyle MacLachlan, who plays the lead character here, called Paul Atreides. So I scribbled down stuff and stuff. Okay performance. Lynch later worked with Kyle MacLachlan and made amazing things, but this movie it's the only Turkey movie by Lynch. It's not a thing at all. I can imagine why he started writing Dune 2. That's crazy. So, okay, 9, The Straight Story, 1999, is a biographical pick about Elvin Strait, written by John Roche and Mary Sweeney. I think Lynch had a relationship with Mary Sweeney. I think they were together at the time. I can't really remember. Was she the editor of his film or something? So Richard Farnsworth plays Elvin Strait, and yeah, this is a Disney-produced movie. It's not a Disney movie, but it's produced by Disney. So yeah, this is an okay drama, nothing flash, really independent. So this guy, Elvin Strait, based on a true story, went to look for his brother he hadn't seen for a long time, and it's okay. Not my good movie for what it is, but in Lynch movie rankings, not one of the best. Now this is 8 The Elephant Man, 1990, also a biographical pick. So Lynch was one of the screenwriters, and I'm not gonna go into the details where it came from and how they put this together from the beginning and stuff, because that's hard to tell. Anyways, I say, even if you read on IMDb, it's John Hurt as John Merrick, one of the greatest performances in movie history. Absolutely one of the greatest. John Hurt also, I think, is one of the greatest actors of all time. And Anthony Hopkins as Frederick Freres, however you say the name. Yeah, based on a true story, you know, The Elephant Man and everything about John Merrick. Very, very good film. But again, as is in Dune, it's... Lynch is such an original director, and he has his own style, and I think that actually hurts the movie. Being too surrealistic, being too weird, strange, it hurts the movie, actually. I'm sorry. I think so, but a good film, good film. 7, Eraserhead, 1977, solely written by David Lynch, his first feature-length film. Jack Nance as Henry Spencer, lead character. The first collaboration with Jack Nance, who is in many other movies and television series and stuff with David Lynch. The strangest, weirdest movie of all time. Cult classic. I never ever heard someone who hasn't said who has seen this movie is the strangest, weirdest movie ever made. It took years and years to. So it's a quick story about this. So Lynch said they went behind the door, opened the door, and it took a few years, whatever, till they finished this scene. A few years later, it took a long time. It's a real independent film, good film, strangest, weirdest movie ever made. So strange. What the fuck is the whole movie about? This? Oh. But it's good. It's good. I love it. It's a cult movie, cult classic. Sort of horror-ish. 6, Wild at Heart, 1990, based on a novel by Barry Gifford, screenplay by David Lynch. Nicolas Cage plays Sailor Ripley and Laura Dern as Lula. Yeah, this is like a... I don't think it's that comedic as it's... known for. It's like a thriller, action thriller, sometimes very brutal. The violence is really brutal here. Great film, great film. I have no... yeah, it has, even though it's not a Lynch movie, Lynch story from the beginning is very Lynch, and it's for sure he added stuff to it. And yeah, I just watch it. It's a good movie, good movie. 5, Lost Highway, as many people don't like this movie. Lost Highway, 1997, written by David Lynch and Barry Gifford, by the way, who wrote the novel to Wild at Heart. I see the problems with this movie, but it's a straight Lynch movie. Like, it's the first of his so-called Los Angeles trilogy. It's a absolutely Lynch movie from beginning to end. I have no problem with this movie whatsoever. Some people have. So Bill Pullman plays Fred Madison with his wife Patricia Arquette, and she's so fucking gorgeous and sexy in this movie. It's unbelievable, and you get to see her naked and everything. Wonderful. So this is where I'm not gonna ruin anything. Who hasn't seen Lynch movies, or so there's characters playing same character, same actor or actress or something playing different roles in the movie, and you know, don't know what's what. This is the same or anything. This is the case with one of the cases with this movie. So I'm not gonna go into much. And Robert Blake as the Mystery Man. Yeah, the Mystery Man. It's a weird fucking movie, man. I personally don't think you're gonna spoil almost nothing about the movie. Don't say the plot or anything like that. The only thing I'm gonna say about this is it starts off with a man, and there's some sound on the doorbell, so Dick Laurent is that. That's it. Nothing more. I'm not gonna say anything. Just watch the movie. It develops. I'm gonna turn the page because I scribbled down the information. Forest Inland Empire 2006. That's 14 years ago. His latest future full-length film. The tagline is "A woman in trouble," and that's an amazing tagline, by the way. This movie was made like he started recording scenes, not the full movie. He wrote scenes and recorded them and put them together and recorded more and more and more and more. We're gonna go talk about Mulholland Drive, but this is the most fucked up movie he has ever made. Over 3 hours or like 3 hours long. It's like a psychotic experience. Holy shit. How he got this together, even if he didn't wrote this from beginning to end. It's not a favorite Lynch movie. They say Eraserhead is his craziest movie until Inland Empire, and it's his craziest movie. Terrifying sometimes. Absolutely eerie. Absurd, weird, strange shit. Yeah, so again, we got some of the stuff from Lost Highway. Not gonna spoil anything, but anyway, so this is all written by David Lynch. Laura Dern plays Nikki Grace. So she is up for a role. And she got this role, and not gonna even tell the name of the movie she got the role in and everything. So yeah, Jeremy Irons plays Kingsley Stewart, the director, and there's a curse about this. They do a remake. The original movie has a curse. That's it. And I'm gonna tell you something. There's not often Lynch makes twist endings in that way. This in some point, not the ending, but near the ending stuff, it has one of the greatest fucking twists ever in a movie. It's gut-wrenching, weird, strange, extraordinary. Holy shit, fuck. Yeah, 3 is Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me, 1992, a prequel to Lynch and Mark Frost's classic, now legendary television series Twin Peaks, 1990 to 1991, which was 2 seasons. David Lynch directed 6 episodes, total of 30 with the pilot episodes of 6. Wrote some and stuff. Twin Peaks would be number 1. It was my favorite thing I ever seen. Of X-Files, the X-Files was my favorite. Then Twin Peaks. Now it's another one. It's Black Mirror anthology TV series. But anyways, Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, as for most, would be it's Lynch masterpiece. Everyone knows that. So the TV series, but this is the movie, and the actual this film was written by Lynch and Robert Ingalls. I think Robert Ingalls wrote some episodes for the television series Twin Peaks. I'm not sure really, Shirley as Laura Palmer, Kyle MacLachlan as Special Agent Dale Cooper, and David Lynch as Gordon Cole, the boss FBI man. So he's in this film. And later they did a third season of Twin Peaks with 18 episodes. But I'm gonna say, Lynch moved on in the early 2000s to digital. I don't think he's good at that at all. I think it looks really cheap, really, really cheap. And what I have seen from season 3 of Twin Peaks, looks extremely bad. Really, really, bad. But anyways, Twin Peaks would be number 1, but it's a television series. So Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me is a prequel to the television series following Laura Palmer in her life, because she was dead in the series. And the last 7 days of Laura Palmer we follow, and Teresa Banks, the murder before us, as explained in the series. This movie get a lot of flack, and as Mark Hamodi said, it's a great horror movie. The only thing this got bashed to hell is because the success of Twin Peaks, the TV series. How can they possibly follow up to a legendary masterpiece television series, one of the best of all time, known as one of the best of all time, with a movie? They say it doesn't have the same tone, the same humor. It has the humor, sometimes really comedy-like, as Twin Peaks had. This has a real weird humor and stuff, but it's darker, often much darker. But yeah, as Mark Hamodi, film critic, said, it's not a bad movie. I love this movie. One of my favorite movies of all time. Absolutely. So I'm not gonna spoil anything, but watch the television series first, and the strange sort of pilot episode Lynch released, and and recorded the ending, which revealed so much who the killer is and stuff, which was ridiculous. That should never have existed, but it's a good flick. Really, really good movie, I think. It's sort of a thriller mystery horror movie. I think it's follow up the Twin Peaks television series really, really well, personally. To Mulholland Drive 2001. And in the 100 greatest films of all times, the International Film Magazine, Sight and Sound, this was number 28 of all the 100 greatest films of all time. Number 1 of the films from 2000 and forward. I don't remember when they did it the last time, 2016 or something. Citizen Kane had been so decades number 1, and then it was where to go. Okay, but I lost my train of thought here. So yeah, Citizen Kane was number 1. The Orson Welles film was number 1, and then it moved up to Vertigo number 1, Alfred Hitchcock film, which I think is a strange choice. But Citizen Kane then got to number 2 the last time. Yeah, and Mulholland Drive was number 28, the greatest film of the 2000s. And I can tell you something, 2000 and all forward, like to 2016 or 17. Written by David Lynch, based actually on a pilot he did in 1999 that never aired. And I searched it on the internet and everything. I never got a hold on to see the whole thing. So, and was dying to see it, but I couldn't see it. So he made a full-length film of it. And this film is one of the greatest masterpieces ever made, I think. There's even a website to it where Lost on Mulholland Drive where people try to analyze it, figure it out completely, because Lynch is known. I read one thing where there was written about they talk about other films intelligent beside David Lynch films, because David Lynch films is probably the most intelligent, most complex films ever made. And this film right here, that's the ultimate ever, absolutely, of all time. There's no question about this. So I don't think so. Whenever you see this movie over and over again, you find out more stuff all the time. You connect. It's a hard, complicated story. So I'm not gonna ruin too much. Naomi Watts plays Betty, an actress coming from where was it? Forgot, but to Hollywood, Los Angeles, to live with her aunt Ruth, and try to become a real actress and stuff. And she met this girl, Rita, played by Laura Herring, and who have lost her memory and stuff. To find some strange things in her purse. I'm not gonna say too much about that. Then it's a side story, and this is because was originally made for a TV series that never happened. So I get this. So it's like an ensemble piece, sort of like. So we got another story where Justin Turks as Adam plays a director. But all these things go together really well, extremely strange, and it's you can watch this movie to infinity. You will never figure it out completely. And apparently Lynch said that this was based on Sherilyn Fenn's character in Twin Peaks, Audrey. They were gonna make a TV series about her character and stuff, but I'm glad that didn't happen. And this movie standalone is #1. I have no problem if people say this is the #1 David Lynch movie. I have no problem with if people say Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me is their #1 David Lynch movie. Not The Elephant Man either. No problem at all. Mulholland Drive and the next one for me are tied. They're two of my favorite movies of all time. #1 is, which is in his movies, is very often ranked as the #1 Lynch movie. This is before Twin Peaks, 1990. Blue Velvet, 1986, written by David Lynch, only him. Kyle MacLachlan plays Jeffrey Beaumont. David Lynch, by the way, with Kyle MacLachlan had, as they started in Dune, but that was bad, starting here in Blue Velvet, had the best sort of actor-director stuff going on. Kyle MacLachlan often played Lynch personality in a way. So Laura Dern as Sandy Williams, which is Jeffrey Beaumont's friend. She had a boyfriend and they started getting interested in each other. Isabella Rossellini as Dorothy Valance. This sort of I'm not gonna reveal too much. You gotta see the film. So Jeffrey sort of get into some kind of a relationship with Dorothy Valance, and Dennis Hopper as like the bad guy plays Frank Booth. Then Dennis Hopper is he's a character in real life when he was alive. Yeah, it's about Jeffrey, not revealing too much. So Jeffrey finds an ear in the grass and goes into the sheriff's station, and which is, I forgot the sheriff's name, but it's Williams last night. So it's Laura Dern's father. Laura Dern, Sandy Williams' father, who plays that. And that leads into a very strange, dark, absurd mystery. There's nothing, as many Lynch movies, there's nothing supernatural about this movie at all. This is before Twin Peaks. That was has supernatural stuff. This is like the early trades of what it was gonna do with Twin Peaks and stuff. This detective story, sort of, like, but detective isn't a detective. The guy Kyle MacLachlan who played special FBI agent Dale Cooper in Twin Peaks, same guy. Perfect acting, absolutely perfect. This movie, I think, is the most beautiful movie of all time. One of the most beautiful love stories. At the same time, one of the most disturbing, dark and twisted fucking movies ever made. So it has these two contrasts that is very weird with each other in this movie. Very strange. And this was also the first collaboration with David Lynch and Angelo Badalamenti. Angelo Badalamenti doing the music for his films, and Julie Cruz sings on some songs, as they did with Twin Peaks and later on. But he often mostly worked with Angelo Badalamenti since. Perfect combination, David Lynch and Angelo Badalamenti. Yeah, Roger Ebert, one of the best, most respected, well-known film critics of all time, may he rest in peace, hated this movie. And the other guy, whatever was his name, when they did the television program, liked the movie, but he said Roger Ebert, as a respect a lot, but he said this movie is disturbing. It's disturbing, it's disgusting, something like that. It is. It really is. It is. But it has one of the most beautiful moments ever in film, most beautiful lines in film, also one of the most beautiful love stories I ever seen. At the same time, this strange contrast with the most uncomfortable, darkest, weirdest stuff ever in film. This Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive are both contenders to be my favorite film of all time. There's almost no separation between Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive, but to me, Blue Velvet is my favorite Lynch movie of all time. That's just it. So, David Lynch, one of the most respected, most loved, known as one of the greatest, also probably known as the strangest, most absurd, most surrealistic director of all time. One of the most important directors of all time, and one, if not my favorite director of all time, if not Jonas Åkerlund. So David Lynch, Jonas Åkerlund, one of those two. I love Lynch. He's basically changed my life in how I view film, TV, movies, and everything. So I'm just gonna give a quick cheers to Mr. David Keith Lynch. I absolutely love you and respect you. You're one of my biggest idols of all time. I will always love you, man.